Hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of Noodle Journey, where I'll be looking at Paldo Premium Gomtang. Since everything I've reviewed so far has been somewhere on the spicy side, except for Mike's, I thought it would be appropriate to pivot to something decidedly unspicy. Although, don't worry spice fanatics, we've got plenty more spicy things to get to. Paldo is another popular brand of instant noodles from South Korea. I've only had a couple of their products before, and everything has been very good, so I'm curious how this package of premium Gomtang turns out. Reviews of this online are all over the place, from people saying it's incredible, to others saying it's basic and flavorless. So this should be interesting. Now, if you're looking for this to purchase, there are actually two versions of Gomtang. This one, and one in a more gold package without the word premium on it. I don't have any of the non-premium variety yet, and I don't know if there is a significant difference between the two beyond packaging, but I will do my best to get my hands on some and figure it out in a future video. Anyway, back to the focus of this review. For noodle novices like myself, Google tells me that Gomtang is traditionally a soup made from boiled beef cuts and bones, which produces a broth with a thick, milky consistency. Wikipedia tells me there are lots of regional variants on this, but for the purposes of this review, that's what this package is apparently emulating. A couple more things to note from the packaging. It explicitly states that these are Oriental-style noodles, rich and delicate beef-flavored Gomtang noodles, which I have to assume means that these are not the same noodles found in other Paldo products, so that's interesting. We've also got 1,049 milligrams of sodium for this whole package. Great. And finally, this package adds a note to the instructions in the final step to add kimchi if you like. As you know by now, I don't do add-ins for a first review of anything, but since the instructions explicitly state this, I will be adding some kimchi after my first taste to eat this as instructed. So let's look at the contents. We've got this square block of noodles seemingly specific to this product, which look to be pretty thin, and we've got two packets. The vegetable packet is just green onion with nothing else, and it feels like a good amount in here. The soup packet is a concentrated liquid made from beef bone extract, salt, sugar, and garlic, with a few preservatives. I don't believe I've ever had something quite like this before, so I'm excited. So let's get cooking. Boil 550 milliliters of water, and add the noodles, soup base, and the green onion packet. The instructions aren't actually clear about when I should add the green onion packet, but since they are dried, I'm going to assume that they should go in now. Stir and cook this for 3 minutes, and then serve. And now for the pre-kimchi taste. The first thing I'm noticing is the garlic from the soup packet, and underneath that is the richness you'd expect from a bone broth. The flavor is very good and frankly very comforting, like a warm beef soup blanket. However, while I very much like this flavor, there's not much else going on with it. It's nice, but it's also one note. Does that make sense? Also, as promised, the only thing remotely spicy is the garlic flavor, so this is a 1 out of 10 on the spice scale. The noodles are definitely delicate, as described on the package. They're on the thin side and a little softer than I like, but they kind of go well with the delicate nature of this soup. While I generally prefer more bite and chewiness to my noodles, it's entirely possible that a thicker noodle wouldn't quite work with this recipe. So despite being a little soft, I'd say the noodles complement the whole experience well enough that I won't be too harsh, and I'll give them a 5 out of 10. Overall, the flavor is very garlic forward, which if you've watched some of my previous episodes, you'll know that I'm into. And I'm also impressed at the amount of flavor and texture that came out of that little soup packet. But as I said, there's no surprises or nuance in the broth beyond that first bite, so I'm going to hesitantly give this a 6 out of 10 overall. I really do like this, but this may not be in your wheelhouse if you're looking for the medley of flavors you get in other Korean instant noodles. Now, let's go back and add some kimchi as the instructions suggest, to see if that enhances the flavor in any significant way. I've got a jar of vegan kimchi here, which means it doesn't contain fish or shrimp paste like regular kimchi does. Fun story, I had some non-vegan go-to kimchi in my fridge before that I loved, but then my shitty in my 40s body decided to spontaneously develop an allergy to what my doctor thought was shrimp. So I had to throw out the jar. And then literally right before I filmed this, my allergist told me something else was causing my allergic reaction and that I could go back to eating shrimp. Yeah. All that to say that this vegan kimchi, while good, doesn't have the same umami as the kind with seafood paste, so this might not be the most ideal kimchi to pair with this gomtang, but it will do. Let's add a couple pieces and stir it around. And yeah, this adds a whole new depth of flavor. Of course, it also adds spice, so there's a trade-off if you're spice averse. This kimchi brings the spiciness up to about a 3 out of 10 for me, although of course that could vary for you by whichever brand of kimchi you use. It also elevates the flavor from that one-note beefy garlic into something more interesting. The added smack from the fermented cabbage and spices really does wonders for this broth, and the soft noodles benefit texturally from the different feel the kimchi adds. I guess that's why the instructions recommend it. Throw some of your favorite kimchi into this, and I'm willing to call it a 7 out of 10 overall. And if you don't have a favorite kimchi yet, buy some and try it. I hated kimchi 10 years ago, and I just recently discovered that I love it now. Taste change. So, is this something I'd buy again or recommend? Yeah, I think so. The basic soup is something I can see myself craving on a cold day, and knowing that I can add to it and really enhance the flavor is appealing. This is easy to find online and in grocery stores, so if you like bone broth and garlic, I can safely say you'll like this despite the middle-of-the-road noodles. Have you tried this yet? Can you recommend other good add-ons for this soup? Or maybe you've tried the other Paldo Gomtang noodles and you can offer a comparison? I'm curious to see others' opinions on this one in the comments. That's it for this review. Hope you enjoyed my rambling, and as always, I hope you'll like and subscribe to continue on this noodle journey with me.